Good morning, children. In this session, we're going to study about how heavy, how big. Let us go through the video, children.
It is a hot, sunny afternoon, and Haraka the crow is in search of water. Suddenly, he spots an old jar under a withered tree. A glimmer of hope. Haraka swoops down to get a sip of water. To his dismay, Haraka finds the level of water in the jar to be too low for him to be able to reach it. What should I do, he thinks to himself. He looks around helplessly when he sees some pebbles. An idea occurs to him. He picks up a pebble and drops it in the pot. The water level rises, but is still not...
Dear children, can you understand? You all know this story well. In your KG, you are studying this story, you are hearing this story. We know need moral here. Just I ask about which fact, which law has worked out here. That alone we have to see here. Children, the crow has collected some pebbles, So that pebble have some weight, hasn't it? It has put down inside the pot. So that much of how much weight it has, that much of water it has sent out. So this is the law of Archimedes. You have to study in your higher secondary class.
The water level rises, but is still not enough for Haraka to be able to reach it. Haraka picks up another pebble and drops it in the pot. The water level in the pot rises further. The glimmer of hope returns. Haraka drops a few more pebbles into the jar, with the hope that the water level will rise enough for him to be able to get a drink. Why did the level of water rise when Haraka dropped the pebbles in it? Click next to find out.
Dear children, so according to the weight of the pebbles, the water level has increased. Isn't it? This fact alone we need to know from this. Isn't it?
Look at this jar. It has some space inside it, which can be filled with a liquid. This space inside the jar is called the volume of the jar.
Dear children, this is our measuring jar. We have to take some amount of water here. This is how we call, this is volume. This is the volume, So how much space it occupies, that is the volume, children. Listen.
Let's begin by filling some water in the jar to further explore the concept of volume. Observe that the jar is filled to the 400th mark.
Dear children, here now we pour the water. How much? 400 ml water we pour it.
Let's mark this as the original water level, as this is the water level we start with. Now,
so our original water level is 400 ml.
Let's follow Haraka's example and drop a pebble in the jar. The water level rises, doesn't it?
Dear children, listen. After pour the water, I put one pebble inside. Now you measure your water level. How much it reach? Yes, exactly 600 ml. So our water level has increased. According to the weight or volume of the pebble.
When any solid is dropped in a liquid, it displaces some of the liquid to make space for itself. The volume of liquid displaced is equal to the volume of that solid.
Listen children, here the volume of water displaced is equal to volume of the pebble.
So now you know why the water level in the jar rose each time Haraka dropped a pebble in it. What if we now want to calculate the volume of the solid that was dropped in the liquid? To do this, let's mark this new water level as the final level. The difference between the final water level and the original water level will give us the volume of the solid.
Dear children, now how can you calculate the volume of the pebble? Yes, the final level of the water minus. So children, the 600 ml minus 400 ml is equal to 200 ml. So that is the volume of the pebble, children.
Here, the difference between the final level and the original level is equal to 200 milliliters. So, the volume of the solid is 200 milliliters or 200 cubic centimeters.
This is nothing but the 200 cubic centimeter means the space occupied by the pebble, that is, children.
Now, it's your turn to calculate the volume of some solids using this method. Drag and drop the marble in the measuring cylinder to find its volume.
So now we take the 500 ml of water in the measuring jar.
Drag and drop the marble in the measuring cylinder to find its volume.
So now I need to draw one marble inside the measuring jar.
Hence we can say that when a solid object is placed in a liquid, it displaces some amount of the liquid. The amount of liquid displaced is equal to the volume of the solid. Haraka dropped some pebbles in the jar so that enough water would be displaced, pushing the water level up to a point where he is able to reach it.
So children, now you all understand the story well. In this session, you all study about how to find the volume. I hope you all learn well. Thank you, children.